UNC students demanding change just 2 weeks after a professor died in a campus shooting.
Run, hide, fight.
Just doing stuff we do every single day, but they were met with bullets.
Their message is that enough is enough and it's time to make a change.
Man allegedly fired at his neighbors after a basketball rolled into his yard.
It's not that America has much more crime. It's that crime in the U.S. is much more lethal.
Kansas City teenager Ralph Yarl, who was shot in the head and the arm last week when he rang the wrong doorbell, picking up his brothers. He's now recovering at home.
Shooting after shooting after shooting for decades, yet we don't ever seem to do anything about it.
And over the weekend, 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis and her friends just pulled into the wrong driveway in New York. She was shot dead when the homeowner opened fire at the car.
These are babies, these are children. We can't arrest our way out of this.
One of the dead teenagers identified tonight by family members is 16-year-old Angel Canales.
And Texas cheerleaders Peyton Washington, seen here, and Heather Roth were shot after mistakenly getting into the wrong car outside of a grocery store early Tuesday.
It should be clear by now that this level of gun violence is a uniquely American problem among the developed world.
For these students, there's a lingering question. Why does this keep happening? And now it's coupled with, how can we make it stop?
When are we going to do something to solve for this uniquely American problem?
America doesn't have a gun problem. It has several of them.
My name is Zoe, and I'm 16.
Nancy, and I am 19 years old.
My name is May, and I'm 17.
A little bit. When I was in first grade, I was in a lockdown because there was a person walking around the school with a gun. And yeah, we had a bookshelf pushed over us, so that was probably the closest experience I've had with gun violence.
Yeah.
Yes, I have heard about gun violence in my area before.
It was, in the moment, very confusing, but looking back, it feels sad that we live in a reality where that's like a thing that I had to experience at a young age, and that there were already protocols in place and all that.
It made me feel unsafe.
It made me feel unsafe and uncomfortable.
It makes me feel concerned for the direction we're going, and because it's had increased frequency, so going, like, it getting more and more common has been something that is concerning, yeah.
I think it is something very immoral, and it's sad that it has come to gun violence instead of just fixing things like a normal person.
It makes me feel fear a bit because, like, it can happen to anyone, whether they're involved in something or not. It can just happen, and yeah.
Yeah, I would say it makes me worried.
Yes.
Yes, it does make me feel worried because it's my life and my safety and other people's lives and safety.
I think it would increase unless actions taken when it comes to gun laws, which there's been more talk about, but without that change, I think it will increase.
No.
I don't think it will decrease, at least any time in the near future.
I don't think so. I think guns can still provide a lot of good in fairly specific situations like hunting or even just like having it for personal protection, but having them be accessible to too many is, I think, dangerous.
I think that's a very hard question to answer because I feel like people use guns nowadays for protection, but I don't think we would need the protection from guns if there wasn't like lunatics running around with guns in the first place. So for me, it's like a 50-50, I guess.
A part of me does think guns should be banned, but because like there would be more consequences from having a gun.
I would, yeah, I would own a gun. Probably for personal protection, not even with the necessarily like idea of using it, but just for that extra peace of mind.
The only reason I think I would purchase and own a gun would be just for my personal safety, but it's like a very common thing in Hispanic culture, I guess. But I think the only reason I would purchase a gun would be for my safety.
No, me personally, I wouldn't have a gun. Like, it just goes against my morals. Like, I don't think, like, even for protection, I don't even, for myself, I don't think, it just doesn't sit right with me to own a weapon like that.
I absolutely don't think so. I think to have easy access, I don't think anyone should have easy access to guns. I believe with like background checks and raising the age to purchase one should be changes that happen. So yeah.
No, I think that that's the main reason that there is so much gun violence in the first place, because young, immature, crazy kids go running around with the gun.
No, I don't think young people should have access to guns. Like, I think that's one of the main issues as well. People having such easy access, especially young people. And like, you never know what's going through someone's mind, and having easy access to guns can just cause anything.
Do I think it's fair? No, I don't think it's fair at all. I think it's one of the top, I don't know, 5, top 10, top 5 things that are like some of the most unjust, unfair, undeserved things happening in America right now.
No.
No, I don't think it's fair that young people or people in general get to lose their lives because of gun violence, just because someone feels like going out and just shooting people, or like an emotion took over. Just any reason like is not a valid reason.
To raise the age for buying a gun to 25 because of brain development, and I think to own a gun you should be capable of fully understanding the pros and cons to it, which technically can only happen at 25.
I think to own a gun, you'd probably need to like a psych evaluation where your mental place is, and like a good reason of why you're actually purchasing the gun in the first place. But like people that just use it for like props kind of, or just to keep it hung up somewhere, I think that's kind of dumb. So I don't know. It's like a 50-50 again.
If I could make a permanent decision, it's between banning guns or making stricter laws, just because that way there would be more consequences about guns or having a gun, owning a gun. And like, I also think like running a mental background check and like making sure that someone is capable of having a gun without losing control or anything like that. Like having guns for hunting or like for protection, not to just have one just because.
Real quick, Senator, I'll brag on you in a minute.
DPD said 13 juveniles had been shot so far this year, and that includes the incident near 85 today. This is just a month after 17-year-old Hillside student Anthony Feaster was shot and killed near school on the American Tobacco campus.
This bill says at the time that the gun industry is bragging about record profits, at a time when guns are the leading cause of death of kids in the United States and America, we need to do more. We need to do more to protect our kids, and we need to do more to protect our communities. And this very simple, very straightforward excise tax is going to raise historic resources.